Mind maps are often used in pre-production to do bits of planning for production. When we're talking about media products, they're also called spider diagrams, by the way, because of how they look. So they are visual, which is nice for planning always. And what they can do really two main things in pre-production. First of all, they can show different options for an idea and how different options interconnect, and they can also, as part of your mind mapping process, help you come up with more ideas for your product. But secondly, they can also be used to just show you the different parts required for your product. Maybe a bit later in pre-production, once you've got a concrete idea for your product, you might use a mind map to show how different stages of production are going to work and how they're going to connect. Because it's all about connections with mind maps. We have a central idea, we might see it referred to as a central node, and that might be your product, it might be your initial idea, and you'll have branches coming out. So the branches looking like spider legs. And the branches are connected to that central idea, but maybe we'll develop it further or go in different directions. You might have different branches for different ideas, and you maybe will just at the end choose the best idea, something like that. But you can have as many sub-branches or sub-nodes as you want, just coming out, but they all should be connected in some way. So you're trying to sort of group different ideas together and also different components if you are doing it a bit later in pre-production. Usually they'll just have text, but here you can see we've got different cartoons, different images, which might help drive home the point and allow a bit more creativity in your planning. So just to talk a little bit more about what I was trying to say about how they can be used. Well, they can help you generate ideas, a bit like a mood board, because it gives you an opportunity to, in this case, spot links between different maybe ideas you're having. It might allow you to, stimulate new connections. You might draw a subnode and start thinking about how it connects to another idea you had, or maybe you'll develop it further and have different options for that idea coming out as different branches. So it's quite a nice visual way of approaching problems, because you can really draw whatever you want. There's no real issue with adding new branches, and it can get quite messy, but that can be a good thing in terms of creating ideas. It can also be a bad thing as well, as we'll say. So the first point here about generating ideas is probably used best at the start of pre-production, but maybe a bit later on, once you have some ideas, you might also want to use a mind map to show what is going to be required in production and how all those different tasks connect as well. So maybe you've got your central node, which is your product you're going to do, in this case an ad campaign, and you've got different branches for different aspects of this campaign. So you've got a radio advert being shown or being played, you've got adverts on YouTube being made, and you want to maybe distinguish between the different parts here. Maybe you assign each job to someone else. It can help you in that planning. But as I was saying at the start of this slide, having a mind map which is used especially for idea generation can get quite complex and messy and quite individual, right? If you are just scribbling down ideas on a mind map, it may not then be appropriate to show that mind map to a client unless you tidy it up, because having loads of connections can make things confusing, and it can sometimes only make sense to the person who made it, whereas other formal documents might be more suitable and they might be more organised.